The Amazon rainforest, a sprawling, verdant labyrinth teeming with life. For 5 friends, the Amazon represented the ultimate test of courage. Little did they know, the jungle held secrets best left undisturbed. Their shared passion for adventure had brought them together, and now the Amazon beckoned them deeper into its emerald embrace. The group meticulously planned their expedition, poring over maps, packing and repacking their backpacks and attending survival workshops.
Sturdy hiking boots, waterproof tents, and a reliable compass are a must.
Essential gear was emphasized: sturdy hiking boots, waterproof tents, and a reliable compass. The day of departure finally arrived. Excitement mingled with a hint of trepidation as they boarded the small plane that would take them deep into the Amazon basin. The air crackled with anticipation as the plane soared over an endless expanse of emerald green. After what felt like an eternity, the plane touched down on a small remote airstrip carved out of the jungle. The adventure had truly begun. The first few days of the expedition were a sensory feast. The jungle welcomed them with open arms, revealing its wonders at every turn. Towering trees, their canopies draped with emerald vines, formed a verdant cathedral overhead, filtering the sunlight into dappled patterns on the forest floor. The Amazon's biodiversity was truly staggering. Monkeys chattered from the treetops. Colourful parrots and macaws soared overhead. The jungle was a tapestry of life and death, a delicate balance of interconnected ecosystems. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the jungle floor, the group would set up camp near a water source. The air, still thick with humidity, would slowly cool, the cacophony of daytime sounds giving way to the symphony of the jungle night. Crickets chirped, frogs croaked, and the occasional howl of a monkey echoed through the trees. We would gather around the crackling fire, sharing stories and laughter as we ate our simple meals. The stars, seemingly closer and brighter than ever before, twinkled like celestial fireflies against the velvet backdrop of the night sky. The 4th day dawned like the others, sunlight filtering through the dense canopy, painting the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow. Yet, as the hours wore on, an unsettling change crept over the jungle, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that sent a chill down their spines. The jungle, once a vibrant tapestry of sound, had become a vast, hushed cathedral, its silence amplifying every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the forest floor, the group reluctantly made camp. The silence of the jungle seemed to press in on them, amplifying every crackle of the fire.
I'll take the first watch.
Maria, her nerves on edge, volunteered for the first watch, her hand resting on the machete. Maria tried to rationalize the whispers, attributing them to the stress of the expedition. Yet, deep down, a primal fear gnawed at her.
Guys, wake up. I heard something. Whispers.
When her watch was over, she woke the others, her voice trembling. The jungle, once a source of wonder, now seemed to hold a sinister edge. The first rays of dawn pierced through the dense canopy, casting long, eerie shadows across the jungle floor. What the... Our supplies? Their supplies, meticulously organized the night before, were in disarray. Several food bags lay ripped open, their contents scattered across the forest floor. What happened during the night? And who, or what, did this? The group gathered around the remnants of their campsite, their faces etched with confusion and fear. The jungle, once a source of wonder, now seemed menacing. The whispers Maria had heard echoed in their minds.
I found something in my journal. Look at these symbols.
A collective gasp escaped their lips. They were dealing with something beyond their comprehension. Despite the unsettling discovery of their ransacked campsite and the unnerving symbols in Lily's journal, the group knew they had no choice but to press on. They were deep within the Amazon, days away from civilization, their only hope of rescue a faint signal on their emergency beacon. Retracing their steps seemed impossible, the jungle a vast and unforgiving labyrinth. With a deep breath, they plunged deeper into the emerald abyss, the jungle closing in around them like a living entity. The jungle seemed to twist and turn upon itself, a verdant labyrinth with no clear path. Giant trees, their roots like gnarled claws, reached out to snag their clothing, their branches forming a dense canopy that blocked out the sun. The air, thick and heavy, clung to them like a shroud, making each breath an effort. As darkness descended, the whispers returned, louder than before, more insistent. They slithered through the undergrowth, up the trunks of trees, and seeped from the very air. No longer whispers, they were now distinct voices, guttural and menacing. The voices grew louder, escalating into blood-curdling screams. They huddled closer to the fire, their bodies trembling, their eyes wide with terror. Panic began to set in, spreading through the group like a virus. They had lost their way, their supplies were dwindling, and now the jungle itself seemed to be tormenting them. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, the whispers and screams weaving a tapestry of fear that threatened to consume them. They were trapped, alone and hunted, in a green hell that had no intention of letting them go. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. The jungle held its breath, whispers receding into shadows. The four huddled closer to the dwindling fire, eyes reflecting terror. Jake was gone, vanished into the green abyss, his fate unknown. The silence was broken only by the crackling fire and frantic heartbeats. The hours crept by with agonizing slowness. The fire dwindled to a few glowing embers, casting long, dancing shadows. The jungle whispered around them, its secrets hidden in the rustle of leaves.
Paranoia took root, whispering doubts and suspicions in their minds.
The jungle, sensing their growing weakness, tightened its grip. The whispers intensified, swirling around them like a vortex of madness. The shadows seemed to lengthen, stretching out like grasping claws. One by one, they succumbed to the jungle's insidious influence. It began with Alex. They were trapped in a nightmare, and there was no escape. Maria burst through a tangle of vines, her breath ragged, her heart pounding in her chest. The jungle floor was slick with moisture, the air thick and heavy, making it difficult to breathe. She stumbled to a halt, her eyes frantically searching the dense undergrowth for any sign of Alex. The jungle, once a source of wonder and excitement, now seemed to mock her with its silence, its indifference to her plight. Maria stumbled through the undergrowth, her senses heightened. Every snap of a twig sent shivers down her spine. She emerged into a small clearing, the moonlight filtering through the dense canopy. And then she saw him, Sam. He stood in the center, swaying slightly. Luminous vines wrapped around him. "Maria, run!" The vines tightened their grip on Sam. Sam cried out in agony. The vines dragged him into the darkness. "No! Sam!" Maria screamed. Her scream was swallowed by the jungle's silence. Days later, a search and rescue team, alerted by the faint signal from the group's emergency beacon, finally reached the area where the friends had set up their initial campsite. The jungle had seemingly returned to its tranquil state, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and exotic flowers. The sun filtered through the dense canopy, painting dappled patterns on the forest floor. Birds called to each other, their songs a symphony of life and hope. But something was amiss. The jungle, usually teeming with life, was eerily silent. The calls of monkeys and the chatter of birds seemed to fade as the rescue team approached, as if the jungle itself were holding its breath, watching them with unseen eyes. They found the remnants of the campsite. The tents collapsed, the supplies scattered, as if abandoned in haste. A sense of unease settled over the search party, a feeling of being watched, of being unwelcome. They found no trace of the missing adventurers, no bodies, no signs of a struggle, only the whispers of the wind through the trees and the unsettling feeling that they were not alone. The jungle had reclaimed its own, its secrets hidden beneath a verdant veil of beauty and indifference. The Amazon rainforest, vast and ancient, kept its secrets well hidden. The whispers in the wild faded back into the eternal silence, leaving behind a chilling reminder that some places are best left undisturbed. The jungle had won, as it always did. It had consumed the adventurers, their dreams, their fears, their very essence, leaving no trace behind but a silence that spoke volumes. And in the heart of the Emerald Abyss, the jungle continued to thrive, indifferent to the fate of those who dared to venture too deep into its embrace.